Hey guys, Ken Lee was kind enough to do a Zoom session with me today, and I'm gonna basically do this in three parts so it doesn't get boring and all that stuff. But there's some really good stories and some insight into the company over at Philharmonic Audio. And as a quick update, Dennis Murphy is recovering well. He's still at the hospital, but hopefully, we're going to be doing a future Zoom with him involved. And again, thanks for watching. Again, like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the first chunk of the Zoom session that we had today. All right, guys. I think I met you guys last year with Jeff Kalina at the Expona because you guys had all three speakers set up that year, if I
No,
remember.
I don't. So this year is the first time we went to Expona.
Oh, so this would have been Capital Audio Fest then.
Yes.
Right.
So Capital Audio Fest, we have everything set up there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I've been running your guys' speakers for the last, what, I've had them now for the last week with the tube amps. And,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, no, it's nice, man. Like I said, the bass is not bad in those bookshelves,
Mm-hmm.
honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said before, like I'm a bass freak, right? So I've got four little SPS subwoofers in my living room,
Yeah.
two little
Yeah.
12-inch sealed ones in the front wall that are in phase, and two
Right.
in the behind my sofa, which are out of phase, right?
Right.
And like last night we were watching movies and stuff, man. I'm telling you, man, if I had five of those in my living room, I'm all set.
Yeah. Yeah. And every time we do the speaker
Yeah.
demo, we play a bass heavy tune in the Capital Audio Fest, and we ask the audience to guess, is that coming from the VMR monitor or that come from tower? Every single time, people said it's from the tower. Then
Yeah,
we have them go up and make sure you touch the woofer. So it's really the small woofer that's vibrating and tower is doing nothing.
nice, nice.
Yeah, and people just shocked. What kind of why can we push out a this level of bass out from a small monitor?
Yeah.
And I usually tell people it's not just about the bass, it's about Dennis' magic tuning.
Yes, yeah,
And there's something about when you have the bass frequency, mid-range and higher frequency that is extremely balanced, you're actually going to feel more bass versus some of the bookshelf, they mostly
very thin.
accentuate the mid-range. So you feel less bass, but when they accentuate the mid-range, it increases sensitivity. So on the marketing, why it looks better,
Of course.
it's more sensitive. Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, again, when I heard them when I 2 years ago when we had the Speaker Fest and Jeff Kalina was getting all the manufacturers together, I can't remember if Dennis flew down here to Phoenix with the speakers. I don't remember
He
because
did. He
I
did.
so for Speaker Fest, I was working with Leo at Orchard Audio, right? And ELAC had given us two pairs of speakers to give away at the event. So
Hmm.
I was basically trapped in our room for most of the day. Like I didn't get to go into the big room with the, not, it was the BMRs were there. I know KLH was there, but at the end of the day, the general public preferred your guys' stuff.
Yes, I was so surprised.
And and the thing is, a friend of mine who does some really, really beautiful DIY stuff. He used to live in Prescott, Arizona, which is about 2 hours away from here.
Mhm.
He's now moved back to Iowa, like he's retired and all this. But his DIY speakers, Ken, they're a dream, the absolute dream. The So when he came down, same thing. He went in the big room at the Speaker Fest, and he heard right away the tonality, of the BMR bookshelves and all this stuff. And he was like, wow, and like I said, I mean, sometimes I'm listening to them with the bass, with the subwoofers turned off, right? Because either I forget to plug them in, because when I run my subs, I don't use the LFE input. I just tap them off the speaker terminals.
Right,
And then in the SVS sub, they've got the speaker in, and that way whatever's going to the speakers is going to the subs.
right,
Right.
right,
And
right.
it's just, again, without the subs, they sound amazing. But just giving it that little extra,
Yep.
and again, like I said, I'm a bass head, but people at the event, they were very, very impressed. Again, I didn't get to really hear your guys' stuff until Capital Audio Fest. I think it was last year. And then again, when you guys, and dude, I can't thank you guys enough, man. It
Oh,
saved
no, no,
that
no
week.
problem at all.
You know,
Yeah.
you know, I,
I think
and
that
again,
was
and you guys didn't really know me, so I figured, okay, I'll put Jeff on the email, so at least when Ken sees it or you see it, oh, okay, yeah, we know Jeff. Okay, so this guy's legit. He's not trying to, steal some speakers from us. The last,
No, I think I remember seeing you on a video from last year when you and another gentleman, and that could be Jeff, you
yeah,
were talking about the
Speaker
Speaker
Fest. Yeah,
Fest.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's why I remember, and I think that one must be Joe
That's it.
because of the last name, and that's how I could correlate the people together. But I actually wanted to tell you that
Yeah,
you are that vote and the results and all the thing that happened with the pictures make a big impact in my Taiwan customer. And so that
nice.
we actually have a pretty big base of
Yeah,
user in Taiwan.
yeah,
And because they used to think like, all those audio science review and those measurement, there's a camp of people do not believe in measurement. They insist they have to hear it, they have to.
yeah,
And your speaker fest that kind of fit into that. Now you just listen to all the speakers
yeah,
together, and many of them are their favorite brand.
yeah, yeah. We
And
had a
then you
lot
have
of,
people vote.
yeah,
And that's like nobody understand measurement probably in that room, or people don't care, but they just listen to their ears and then they vote. And here is the result. Nothing speaker louder than that. So it was a huge I think for us
yeah.
especially in Taiwan, and I'm pretty
That's
sure that had a
awesome.
big impact
Yeah.
because lots of people coming into our room last year said, "Hey, I read about that Arizona competition. I got to hear the champion, and I'm here to hear the champion." And this
That's awesome, man. How easy your guys' speakers are to set up, both in that big room that we had at the DAC event that we had, and it was the same thing. When I organized the DAC event with the club, we had about 20 people show up, and I wasn't worried about, oh, set up the microphones. It has to be so many dB. I'm like, I'm one of these people where if you're designing something, like my background is electronics engineering, like, but for the last 10 years, I've been working in Wi-Fi and IT stuff, right? Only because there was a need. But if I had my choice, I'd stay in electronics engineering, playing with circuits. Like right now, I'm in my office. This side has two monitors set up, and it's all for my work stuff. And
right.
that side,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
all
yeah,
mine.
baby. Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, you need to have measurements as a baseline for everything.
absolutely.
After
Yeah,
that, right, you have to tune it so that it's pleasing not just to yourself, but does it sound good, right? Now, any engineer is going to say, yeah, my stuff sounds awesome because you designed it, it's your baby,
right,
right?
right, right.
But then you
Yeah,
need to get it out to people they don't care, right? Does it sound good, right? Some people, they love the V curve. Other people, they're mid-range crazy, right? Some
right.
people, they have hearing issues. They need the top end boosted a little bit, right? Or then
Yeah,
you've got me who, thank God, at 55, I can still hear 13K, right? But I'm a bass freak, right? But anyhow, but yeah, people will tell you straight out, and that's when you have to tune it to say, okay, I made these changes. What do you guys think? And like, because you guys are local to Capital Audio Fest, just like Black Ice Audio, right? You've got the general public coming in, and they'll tell you right away. You guys know yourself.
yeah,
Now that I've started working some rooms with Orchard Audio and with Black Ice, nobody cares if your phantom center and your imaging and your soundstage is great from that middle seat. If they're walking into the room, if it doesn't sound good just in that little corridor, forget about stereo. They'll leave. I used to be one of those guys on the other side of the fence, right? I'm
Right.
at a show. You've got so many choices, so many selections. If it doesn't sound right when you're walking in, see you, right?
Right. Right.
But
Right.
if you're just walking in that little hallway, hey, wow, man, that sounds pretty good. When you guys were there last year and even the year before, there's always traffic going in and out of your rooms,
Yes, and I
right?
think there was one editor that he wrote that in the enjoy the music.
Yeah,
He got in, he can only stand on the corner
yeah,
because the room, and then he stayed for 10 minutes. Nobody leaves. He was like, what is happening here?"
yeah, yeah,
And then he finally squeezed in a space, and then he think everybody must be thinking about how they can write a check to carry those speaker
take it home.
yeah, and then we have a lot of people that come back and bring their friends and ask their friend that you need to hear this, right? You need
Yeah,
to hear this, and just come back to ask us question. And I usually tell people because I went to other room too.
yeah,
When you have a dealer demoing the speaker versus you have the founder and
yes,
producer demoing the speaker, we are literally talking about our babies, and we know what's good, what's the theory and the behind the scenes stories so
yeah,
people more feel more engaged
yeah,
and feel they could actually learn something
yeah,
just by simply visiting our room. And all the tunes were selected, some of the thing we wanted you to feel this, feel this, feel
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Yeah,
But as soon as Leo leaves the room, that's when I play music. But when Leo comes in, right, the amplifiers, the DACs are his babies, right? So he wants to do the demo tracks, the show off tracks, and all this. And I'm kind of like, if I hear this one more freaking time, but I get it. You're the
ah,
engineer, it's your baby. You want to show what's the best, even if the
right.
music sucks, right? Right?
Yeah,
You want to show the best, right? But
right,
even
right.
when I would take over, people were like, wow, that sounds really good. I haven't heard it, that song sound that good, going to
Hmm.
these shows and all I'm hearing is demo music and people would come in just to relax, right? Just
Right.
to get away from it.
Yes, yes.
And what I noticed with your guys' speakers, like you can play any type of material on it, whether it's classical, jazz, or like I like a lot of progressive rock, classic rock stuff. It's amazing. Like especially now that I finally got to listen to them in my room, right? It's like first they were super easy to set up, right? Phantom Center locked right in, like I said in the email. Imaging, soundstage, you could hear all the spatial cues, right? And I mean, uh, anytime I get somebody's product in, I always try to do some homework, right? So I go online, I look at like there was a stereophile article from Capital Audio Fest 2011, right? That had some
Right.
of Dennis's earlier work in
Yep.
this.
Yep.
And now, yeah, the cabinetry you guys are doing is beautiful. I have those Klipsch Cornwalls, right? And had I known about you guys 2.5 years ago, right, I definitely would have been better off with five of your guys' stand mounts with my subs and everything else. Or like the towers. That's the other thing. Like with with Dennis's background, I'll get into that and I'll ask some questions about that in a minute. But he's using the Purify woofers for the what I read on the website purely, and he's limited it to 40 hertz so that you can augment them with subwoofers for home theater. But then the other version that you guys have is, I think it's with the 8-inch driver.
That's Scan Speak, a legendary radiator.
Right, right, right. The Revelator, correct,
That
correct.
would shake the whole room. Do not underestimate the 8 inch. That is
Oh yeah,
actually,
oh yeah, of
oh yeah,
course.
that eight
Yeah,
inch
yeah,
will shake the whole room. And we
yeah,
demo that every year in Capital Audio
yeah,
Fest.
yeah. Because
Yeah,
I remember because when I went to Capital Audio Fest 2022, that was right after the Speaker Fest, right? Speaker Fest was end of August and Cap was in November.
right.
And because I hadn't heard it, that's why I went into your guys' room, right? Because to really experience it. And then when you guys had everything, or when Dennis had everything all set up, first thing I wanted to hear was what was the big deal about these little speakers that, everybody loved, right? And I'm like, oh, wow, okay. And then he switches over. Same thing. He did the whole party trick, with which ones are you listening to, Joe? right? And Jeff was in the room with me, and we were having a good laugh. And you know, it was like I said, your guys' stuff is, and like I said, these things are sold now, right? My friend Greg, who hosted the DAC event, he wound up buying them, right? And
Yeah.
that's the other thing, Ken. When I set those speakers up in that big room, we did have a pair of subs in there. We never used them, and I purposely those were club members, open baffle subs, and we've used them at club events before, right? But then I thought, first of all, we couldn't get them working right. We couldn't, and I said, you know what? Forget about the stupid subs. Let's just listen to the speakers, and that way we can judge the DACs a lot more faithfully, right? And in that big room, right, as ugly as it looked, my friend Greg, who knows nothing about acoustics or whatever, they built that big, huge metal shed. He has 1/3 of it. His wife has the other 2/3. He put lots of insulation. And what happened was I went in there about 2 months ago and I was getting a headache. He had too much insulation in there. And again, he said, but it's supposed to be like a recording studio and we're supposed to have lots. I said, yeah, Greg, lots of insulation, but okay, the stuffed insulation, leave it in. Take out some of this corrugated stuff, take out some of the styrofoam insulation. And I showed him where in the room to take it out. And then when I came back a week later, and I said, okay, now you got it. Now when people walk in here, yeah, it's gonna look like a big hot mess, but it's gonna sound good, right? And
Right.
like I said, setting up your guy's speaker, just a little bit of toe in, and even though they were so far out from the walls, right? I even had the magic chair taped, but I never
Mm-hmm.
told anybody. I never told anybody because we have one guy in the club who loves to hog the sweet spot for the entire event. And he
Right.
always goes in the front row in the middle chair and all this. I purposely put it back 3 rows in the middle, right? But anybody who was off axis still enjoyed what they heard,
Right.
you know? And you could still discern the differences between the DACs even if you didn't sit in the sweet spot,
Oh, that's awesome.
and yeah, it's like, you know, like I said, my worst nightmare now is my wife likes how the speakers look.
Yeah, and I have female friend that came into my house, know
Yeah,
nothing about speaker, just look at the
yeah,
cabinetry and
yeah,
say, I
yeah.
want a pair.
Mhm.